Hi, I'm Matt the Physio and welcome to the channel. This channel is going to be set up all about trying to educate you, to understand, break down some of the medical terminology, all in relation to the field of physiotherapy. There's going to be a lot to unpack and there's going to be a lot of developments over the next 12 months, which I won't tell you all about straight away today. However, as I unpack things and start to explain certain types of injuries and how they affect the human body, and more than anything what this channel is about is trying to get you to understand the elements of biomechanical function. This is one of the greatest elements towards physiotherapy and any other treatments that is very often missed. From this, you'll be able to understand your injuries, understand the alignment of the body, its functionality and how it's impacted. Give you a little bit of information, an idea about me, my past, my history regarding my qualifications and the things that I'm capable of doing. I am a qualified mechanic, MOT tester, plasterer, plumber, Part P electrician, although that's only a 5-year one, teacher, and then everything that I've done in this. Very often the case is patients ring me up and they say to me, "Oh Matt, can you tell me a little bit about your qualifications?" That's always a bit of a problem for me, I shan't deny. The reason why is, well, if you just look at all these, they're starting to fall, excuse me, there are over 60 qualifications here, okay? I have trained in Harley Street, I've got a fellowship, I've got a doctorate, I have covered as many aspects as I can, above and beyond, to the point where I will take your blood, I'm a qualified phlebotomist, I will separate the platelets out and re-inject those for repair and injury to certain soft tissues and joints. So when you call me and you ask me about my qualifications, it's very hard for me to just answer that on the spot on a phone call, because as you can imagine, we're going to be there for a long, long time, so we need to avoid that. Most of my focus was always on physiotherapy. That was my goal when I initially set out to do this, and then along the way I met many other different skills, many different disciplines, so I chose to go out and get the qualifications in that, or learn from those that were in their fields, some of the very best. The people's names that are written on these certificates, trust me, they wrote the books on their industries. They were that good. The likes of Leon Chato, etc, etc. I will do, if you want me to, a video showing you all of the qualifications, but I do promise that I'm going to put them all up on the walls, which is not going to be pleasant because there's over 60 holes for me to drill, but it might be easier to set them out in a way where it's more digestible, so more relevant to your understanding, so that you can see my qualifications and what I know. Some of the areas where I crossed over was I went into the field of osteomyology, which is a very interesting subject, and obviously that's where I got to meet a lot of the great lecturers, so I do strongly recommend looking at their courses, and if you look up the Osteomyology Association you can learn a little bit more about that too. I went on to do all sorts of Japanese, Chinese medicine and many, many other disciplines. The initial focus with this channel is going to be a little bit more about explaining about my clinic, what I have to offer in my clinic, the services that are available, which I absolutely guarantee you cannot find anywhere else. Okay? One of the subjects that you'll always hear me talking about is the biomechanics, the alignment and the functionality of the human body. It is always this element that is compromised that leads to injury. My goal is to attempt to allow you to understand that in a digestible format. I spend every day with every single patient that walks through this door during the initial assessment, allowing them to understand a little bit more about themselves, their personal alignment and their personal function, which has led to the reason that they've arrived here in clinic today. A lot of what we see going on in the world following the C, we will call it, following that incident, there has been a lot of problems within the UK with trying to get appointments with GPs, your own personal doctors, and of course accessing facilities within the NHS. I will say, yes, I do have some inside information regarding the complexities of this, why this is being an issue, and they're not as deep-rooted as we think. There are employment issues. This is why you're struggling to get in to see your GP, you're struggling to get appointments to the NHS. This is why what I offer in my clinic is totally unique. You will not find it anywhere else. And the reason why I can make that statement is because I put it together personally. This doesn't exist anywhere else. So let's go on to the subject of the biomechanical assessment. The thing that I like my patients to understand is when you come to see me, it's a very personal and private situation. You will not be able to generalise the subject matters because I tailor-make them to suit you. I start from the ground up. I assess everything. When I've got that data, I put that in a digestible format for you. And unlike anywhere, I don't care if you go to Harley Street. You can go to any private insurer in this country. It does not matter where you go. I can definitely assure you that you will not leave with a full written report. And that's the one thing that I do in my clinic. The contents of that report and what actually takes place on arrival, I take all of your case history. From there I can find out your whole life, how its experiences have been, any hidden agendas from your childhood, etc. as you pass through life. We'll then talk about your current presentation and we'll look at the symptoms of that. I will go through a complete testing head to toe. I will diagnose you. I will provide a treatment plan and an aftercare package. One of the great things that seems to be a problem at the moment is getting an MRI. Okay, so trying to go through the NHS, for over 23 years that I've been doing this, I could very easily explain how things have changed. When I entered this system, about 8 months was about the normal for an MRI scan. Before the big C arrived, we had a situation where the NHS was operating magnificently. I mean, I was just astounded how fantastic it was. I was cut between telling the patients where to go. Yes, I could refer them privately, but we could give some considerations using the NHS if the GPs agreed with diagnosis and presentation. We got to a situation where you could get a scan literally within 2 weeks, and the reports were 6 to 8 weeks, so about a 10-week turnaround. Yeah, we got the report, we knew what was going on, and for those patients that need to be in that affordability, well, it was an opportunity for them to get the treatment that they really required. Today, of course, with regards to MRIs, it's a situation where the pressures there are upon the NHS, I'm afraid I can't tell you the lead times now between GP, NHS, scanning, reports, and any other follow-ups thereafter. What I can offer in my clinic, of course, is the options for MRIs. Now with MRIs, of course, they are the gold standard. I'll know what's going on inside the human body from that report. And there are patients, of course, that, you know, the claustrophobic element is a bit of an issue. Well, that's not an issue because locally to us, through the private sector, we also have a machine where you can sit there, it's open plan above you, the person operating the equipment is straight in front of you, and there's no more claustrophobic element. So we do have some options in clinic. Should we ever need to hit that point, we can refer you there privately. It's roughly about 7 days, so it's pretty good turnaround. The NHS, I'm afraid I'm unable to tell you how long it will be now, just the system has changed. Hopefully things will improve, and as time goes by we might be able to consider those pathways for those that really need to. So as you can see from the very in-depth report that we write, that you will leave this clinic with, that you will not get anywhere else, you can see why this clinic is exactly what you require to find out what's wrong with you. You don't have to come here, you don't have to be treated by me, I'm not offended. As long as I get to do my job and I get to help you and I get to show you what is wrong with you, then you can choose to do what you want about it. I'll provide you with all the data, all the information, and then the choice becomes yours. Patients, when they come to this clinic, are often very surprised to find out the things that are causing the issues. And this thing, of course, is me harping back again to the biomechanical system in the body. It's really simple. It starts from the ground and it goes up. And if we have leg length discrepancies, collapsed arches, etc., they're going to impact all the joints at multitudes of levels, and then that's going to affect how the body's positioned. It's going to tighten up muscle on one side, it'll be lax and loose on the other. The nervous system's got to fire all this to allow it to biomechanically function in its gait as it moves down the road. So you can see why, just from that biomechanical assessment, I'm able to draw all the conclusions and evidence that I need, gather it, and then we can better diagnose a condition. And it does not matter what that condition is, it will escalate throughout the whole body.